people who didn't. I mean, there's no way to explain to people now how big of a deal that was then. And I was listening to an interview with Ricky Cobb, who does the Super 70s Twitter feeds, a fantastic Twitter feed. And Ricky's a friend of mine. And one of the things that he said was in an interview was that, you know, everybody may not have watched all these shows, but everybody knew about these shows. You may not have watched Laverne and Shirley every week, but you knew about Laverne and Shirley because there were only 3 networks and there were only so many shows, you know, and whereas now you've got there are entire fan communities built around these Netflix shows that very few people, you know, or a lot of people have never heard of or never seen. And so you could have, but I mean, so there was this shared experience of the pop culture is basically his point. And I think it was a great one that, so the Who Shot JR thing, to get back to that, I mean, that was part of that. I mean, it was a huge, huge deal. I mean, this was the first kind of season-ending cliffhanger in television history. And there were newspaper contests. There were, you know, going back to do research for this book, I'm finding ads in the Chicago Tribune of, you know, oh, here's this person, and here's why they could have done it, and here's maybe why they didn't do it, and tell us your guess. And the winner gets, you know, I don't remember exactly what they were giving away, but I mean, it was this huge pop culture phenomenon that went on for 6 months. And it really did take the country by storm. It really was amazing. And it's just not something that I think could happen today, at least maybe certainly not for that length of time, because we'd all be on to the next thing, you know.
Right. And yeah, I mean, there were only basically 3 channels, you know, 3 networks.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember as a kid, I mean, we had a couple TVs, but really that was what we did. We gathered around a TV. Well, as a family, we would watch you know, the shows of the day: Three's Company, Dukes of Hazzard, MASH, Happy Days, and you know it's just not the same. And there were VCRs weren't really a thing then, so you had to watch it when it was on.
Yeah,
that was the other thing. It was like appointment viewing.
Yeah, I mean VCRs were around, but they were crazy expensive. Like $1,000. I mean, and even and you know, doing some more research, you look back and now VCRs are $1,000. Blank tapes were $15 a piece.
Wow.
So yeah, it was, I mean, we didn't get a VCR till much later in the day, but yeah, I mean, we just relatively recently passed the anniversary of the final episode of MASH, in 1982. I missed it because I went to a high school basketball game. It was probably 10 or 15 years before I actually saw that episode because, I mean, again, it's not like you can just DVR it and watch it the next night. You know, I mean, it was on and then it wasn't. And, you know, that was it.
So you were the one that didn't watch it.
Well,
you were the only guy.
It was by choice, exactly. I was a PA announcer for our high school basketball team, so I went and did that. And, but it was, I mean, certainly I heard about it, and it was a big choice back then. I mean, you know, that was a huge, huge deal. So, again, one of those things that people today will never, you know, younger people wouldn't kind of grasp how big of a deal that was.
Still to this day, when they talk about the most viewed TV things ever, there's, you know, every Super Bowl, but then also in that list is the MASH finale.
Exactly. It was a huge deal.
All right, sir. Well, we could talk for hours. I'm telling you guys, you have to get this book. It is just a great chronicle of a season, and it wasn't that, you know, it's 155 pages. It's not that long, but you pack so much in it, and you know, like I said at the beginning, it's not just facts. It's you know. You really makes you care about this thing. It makes it so interesting. So, and I need you to do one for each of the years in the 80s, at least of the 80s, because you did such a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I mean, just one last thing I'd like to say is just that was part of my goal. Is I didn't want this to be just a baseball book of here's who won these games. You can get that from Baseball Reference. And I tried not to get into play-by-play. I wanted to tell as many stories and behind-the-scenes stuff, and that was kind of what I went into it trying to do. And I modeled this book off of a couple other ones that I really liked, Dan Epstein's Stars and Strikes about the 1976 season. And then Jeff Katz wrote a book about 1981 called Split Season, and so that was
those were my templates that I used. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun to write. And like I said, I fell down a lot of rabbit holes of researching things. And there's a reason that I know that blank VHS tapes cost $15 back then, because I was like, oh wow, look at that! How, you end up shiny objects in these newspapers, right? So
you lived it, yeah. All right, sir. The book is called Phinally, the Phillies, the Royals, and the 1980 baseball season that almost wasn't, from McFarland Books. Jay Daniel, hey, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back Wednesday with another episode. Thanks again to Jay Daniel. And the book is called Phinally, the Phillies, the Royals, in the 1980 baseball season that almost wasn't, from McFarland Publishing. And I'm telling you, go get this book. It is so good. I can't stress this enough. Get the book. Talk to you later. Another episode is in the bag.
And blessed are the great, for they shall receive their just rewards.
Have you been saintly with credit in the past? If your credit record is rated great, Avantcard can offer you Ireland's lowest rate on loans over €20,000. So whether you've been dreaming of an upgraded kitchen, better bathroom, or snazzier car, see if we can answer your prayers.
For more info, go to avantcard.ie.
Limited time offer. Lending criteria, terms and conditions apply. New applications only. Information correct as of February 1st, 2019. See bonkers.ie. Avantcard DAC trading as Avantcard is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Imagine there was a way you could get an extra 20% off already incredible prices at Kildare Village. Well, there is. Just sign up to Privilege, our rewards program, and you'll be invited to our exclusive private sale, where you can enjoy an additional 20% off at participating Kildare Village brands between 29th of March and April 7th. T's and C's apply. Sign up at kildarevillage.com and find something extraordinary every day.